Good morning, everybody. Some of you know me as an entrepreneur, and now you know me 3 times as the president of EO. It's really great to see so many faces and familiar ones coming out to support entrepreneurs here in Portland. One thing that you may not know about me is I'm a country girl from a little village in South Korea. I'm an immigrant that came to this country for a better education, and I was able to create my American dream. I became a business owner, and I'm in year 21 of that business. I'm also a proud board member of the Oregon Community Foundation. Where are my people from OCF? Yeah. And of OMSI. I see you right there. I'm a wife of a startup founder. There's my boo in the front. Okay. And a mom of 2 teenage girls, one in high school and the other in college. It took hard work for me to get to where I am today, but about a year ago, I realized I was missing an important trait as an entrepreneur. I wasn't resilient when the business didn't have enough money. And someone had told me, resilience is a muscle. You build it going through tough times. And the definition of resilience is to recover quickly from difficulties. And I know this may sound a little crazy, but for 20 years in my business, I really didn't face that many difficulties around money. And so I really didn't build up that resilience that I needed. And money's not an easy thing for me to talk about. I don't know if anybody in this room likes talking about money. And I'm gonna try though, so I'm gonna take a deep breath. I know, and I'm gonna try to practice talking about money with 300 of you in this room. Many of you I don't know, okay? So be nice to me. Growing up, I didn't have money, and one of my early memories around money was realizing that I didn't have it, and that I came from a poor family. And there's nothing more sad than a little girl realizing that, you know, she's poor and that not everybody eats bologna and white bread. And one of my early memories, being in 6th grade, you know, in middle school, coming from a poor family, I got free lunch. And if you can relate to this, at least in my school, if you got free lunch, you had to go through a separate line that time. Schools in the late 70s, early 80s. And so I was embarrassed. I didn't want people to know I didn't have money. So I didn't eat lunch in middle school. And I know that seems really sad, but that was just my reality. And at age 23, things didn't get much better for me around money. I just didn't build a relationship around it. I pretty much just tried to avoid it. So here I was at the start of my career, and I'm starting to save money and do the things that all the experts tell you to do at 23, right? Put money away. And I had taken everything that I had earned at that point, all the money that I had saved, and I paid back 6 creditors so that my mom wouldn't file for bankruptcy. So I was a little bit mad at her. And to this day, I still avoid any conversations about money with my mom because I'm afraid she's gonna ask me for money. And if any of you have ever tried to negotiate with an elderly Asian woman about money, you don't wanna do it, because my mom will get money from you. Okay. So as an entrepreneur, I couldn't avoid or run away from the biggest money issue that I would face in my business, and it's making payroll. And I'm even anxious just talking about it. So about a year ago, in early November, I realized that I didn't have enough money in my business to make payroll. And I had never been in that situation before. And I know a lot of you in this room have. And it helps to build resilience. But I had never been in that situation. And I was so mad at myself for not seeing this coming. And how did I let this happen in the business? And if making payroll wasn't enough, during that same time, I also had, so here's my reality, I had clients holding $800,000 in payments that were about 60 days late for most of them at that point. That sucked. And I also got word that our team had lost 5 major projects that would have supported my entire company over the next 6 months, and we didn't have a line of credit. So I just couldn't believe the situation, and all I kept thinking during that time was, I have this amazing team, the best team I've ever had in my business, and if I can't make payroll, how am I gonna keep this amazing team? And I have this gut feeling right now, even standing here, just remembering that time, and I just felt like I failed them. Right? I wasn't fit to be their leader, and I just felt like a failure. How could I let this happen to this company? So I did a lot of hoping in that month of November, hoping checks would come in, hoping we'd win and land a big contract, just hoping to just make myself feel, I think, a little bit better. And I called my friend Ryan. Raise your hand, Ryan. You'll see him again on stage. And he'll try to say something funny, so don't laugh at him. And so I called him, and here's what he said. Hope is not a strategy. I wanted to kick him, because hope was what I had. It took energy for me to even hope, and hope was a distraction from me feeling bad about myself. And we know as entrepreneurs, hope doesn't find solutions, and Ryan was right. Hope wasn't gonna make payroll for me, right? So I needed to create a strategy. I needed to come up with options, and creating options is a way to build resilience. A lot of people, when we're faced with tough times, what do? We give up a lot of times. But for me as a business owner, to be able to support this team that I had, it was an amazing team, giving up, that wasn't an option. So I needed to create some solutions. So here are options for the company. One, we could scale back and reduce staff, and that didn't feel good. I mean, we were going into Christmas by this point. Right? Another option was to go bigger and to find investors, and that would take time. And the third option was for the 2 owners to double down and to put money back into the business and to reduce our salaries to 0. So we doubled down and we kept everybody. And so you may wonder, how did you do that? You don't have a line of credit, right? Where did the money come from? So here I go. I'm gonna talk about money again. And this time I really have to take a deep breath, because just thinking through it creates this anxiety still for me. So my oldest daughter was going off to college in less than a year, so I had pulled cash into an account to cover her tuition for those 4 years. Right? I had done all the right things as a parent, and here I was really excited for her. And 2 days before Christmas, I was sitting in the bank parking lot waiting for it to open, and I had her college tuition money as a check sitting on the passenger seat of my car. And I could still remember what I looked like and how I felt at that moment. My hair was still wet from having just showered. I had just run out the door. So I was wearing flip-flops, didn't even have a jacket on, and it was, middle of December. And I knew this is what I needed to do. So I walked into that bank, made the deposit, and Taylor's college fund made December's payroll. Whew, did I say that out loud? Okay. So I rushed home afterwards and started prepping dinner for 20 of my family members who were coming over so we can celebrate Christmas that night. It was just another day, right? I'm like chopping carrots and prepping things. And there was no way that I was going to bring this up over, turkey and ham with my family. Nobody in my family wants to talk about payroll, right? And the thing that they would have said, I think, would be, are you crazy? Like, why would you even do that? EO has been the group that pulls me back, right, from the cliff. My friend Jill said, at least you're clear about your options. A lot of people wait too long, and another friend shared his struggle with making payroll every 3 weeks. Not once every 20 years, but every 3 weeks. Their perspective was so helpful. And my leadership team was amazing during this time. They came up with solutions and scenarios to get us through the hump. Scenarios that I didn't have because I was all wrapped up in my self-doubt at the time. And if we didn't go through that experience, which we did together, I don't know that we would have built that resilience that we needed if it ever happens again. So we recovered together as well. We invested in all of our people. We got a line of credit, and we started to pre-bill on some of our projects so that we wouldn't become a bank for our clients. And I look back on that time now, and I'm glad that we had gone through that. And I learned that resilience is something that I, as a business owner, can go through on my own, but it's also a muscle that we can build together as a team. Don't wait 20 years like I did. Thank you.